Welcome into the Nashville Game Changers podcast. I'm your host, Jill Jelnick. Really excited about our guest this week. This is someone I've admired for a long time, and I'm just so honored he said yes to coming on the show. He's an Olympic gold medalist, a cancer survivor, the voice of figure skating when it comes to the Olympics. And oh yes, he also gives so much love to this Nashville community on a regular basis. Please help me welcome world-renowned figure skater, Scott Hamilton.
Oh, what an introduction. You can be my hype girl everywhere. We'll just do that.
I mean, and I barely even touched the surface of everything. Let's be honest. Author, right?
I've lived a lot longer than I thought I was going to. But it's just one of those things when you're a male skater, especially when I started, the opportunities were few. And so you just go after everything, right? And it's just like, there is no. There is no, let me get back to you. It's like, yes. So I spent a lot of time saying yes. And because of that, there's this like unintended or unexpected body of work that I look back on now and said, who did that? It's like, or how did that happen? That doesn't make any sense. So a lot of it is just sort of an extension of the last and the next, being an extension of this. And so much of it was responding to whatever was happening in the moment. And, it's just, I got into the cancer world because my mom died of cancer and I became a fundraiser. And so I was 2 months shy of the 20th anniversary of losing my mom that I'm diagnosed with cancer. And now I've got the card that says cancer survivor. But what I learned, I felt like it's time to take fundraising and turn that more into activism. So we've been for the last, 25 years, I've been doing CARES. And it's extraordinary that we've been able to impact the cancer community in unique and powerful ways, unexpected, but at the same time, very necessary because it's ever evolving. And there was a lot of the cancer experience that really needed to be elevated and upgraded or changed completely. And so when I survived, we founded the CARES initiative at the Cleveland Clinic. And it was part of their Taussig Cancer Center. They were a brand new cancer center. I was kind of like a survivor when they broke ground for their new cancer center. So I was able to start fundraising for them. And we built this entity that 15 years or 14 years in, we were thriving. And I said, I want to grow. And they said, well, you can't really do that any more than you're at capacity here. And I said, well, can I take it as a dedicated foundation? And they said, of course. So we've been a dedicated foundation for the last 11 years. We've done 111 partnerships and 111 projects. A lot of those are partnerships. The CARES is an acronym for the Cancer Alliance for Research, Education, and Survivorship. So we really want to look after the entire cancer experience. We've done that through our mentorship program, The Fourth Angel, pairing newly diagnosed patients with survivors. We've done that on the education side with chemocare.com, which is everything you need to know about chemotherapy, all the drugs, how they work, associated side effects in 8th grade English and Spanish. So now it rips the mask off of this unknown entity called chemotherapy. And then that's thriving. It's become a lead resource for all oncology nurses to give patients the information they need, and it's available 24/7, which is, your doctor's not available 24/7, but this website is. And so it can help you navigate your journey. And then on the research side, when we became a dedicated foundation, we put our stake in the ground that we're only going to fund treatment options that treat the cancer and spare the patient harm. So that means even though I'm here all these years later due to chemotherapy, we want to get rid of that and replace it with immunotherapy, which is an immune response to cancer like you would have for any other illness. When you get a virus or something, you have an immune response. So our bodies created the cancer. It's logical that we should be able to teach our bodies how to detect and destroy it. So we fund immunotherapy and targeted therapy stuff. So all our events are either ice-based or Nashville-based in a really cool way. And we love to partner with like-minded organizations. And we're not afraid of going after bullies, some of the no-hope cancers, to create new hope, because we believe that in the very near future, thanks to research, no one needs to die of cancer anymore. But that's going to take a lot of fundraising and a lot of investment into the science. The science is here. The funding is down here, and if we close the gap, that means more lives saved and extended. And pretty soon, we're going to be able to. I don't think cancer is going away. I think succumbing to cancer is going away. But again, we just need to make it happen.
You're listening to the Nashville Game Changers podcast with world-renowned figure skater Scott Hamilton. We'll be right back after this. It takes time. It takes money, all those treatments, the support. That's where those 111 projects and also fundraising events come in, including one that you have later this month, Scott Hamilton and Friends.
Yeah.
That will be an exciting, fun event. You have some great musicians, some great figure skaters.
It's always been the little engine that could, right? So it's a gigantic event that needs a larger audience, right? So I'm just shouting from the rooftops, fill the rink. We need to fill the arena. We need to fill the arena. We keep our ticket sales where it's manageable. It's a fundraiser. We are trying to solve a very extraordinary problem. But in that, I engage the skating community and the music community to combine, which is the product is greater than the sum of its parts. So we've got live music from iconic artists. So this year we were going classic rock. So we have former lead singer of REO Speedwagon, Kevin Cronin, coming in, Wally Palmer of The Romantics, Mike Reno of Loverboy, Jason Dulatka, who's with Journey, John Elefante, formerly of Kansas, and Jason Sheff, formerly of Chicago, singing their biggest songs and all being performed in front of them. They're on a 4-inch stage. They have the best seat in the house. And Olympic skaters are directly in front of them, interpreting their music into these athletic and artistic powerhouse performances that it's all breathtaking. You don't know where to look. You want to watch the stage, you want to watch the ice, you're going to go back and forth. And it's sensory overload. And it's so cool that I describe it just like that, exactly what it is. And then people will come and I'll see them afterwards and they say, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me it was, I go, I tried. But you've got to experience it to truly understand what it's about, because the musical artists love it because it's going to A, a good cause, and B, they get to have the best seat in the house for these Olympic skater performances. And the skaters love it because they're getting to hear live music where they never get to hear live music. And we take the glass out. We don't have any hockey pucks or any hockey players flying into the walls. So we take the glass out. We cover the boards so they disappear, and we bring seats all the way to the ice. So there's 2 rows of seats on the ice, and it goes all the way around in a horseshoe. And where the Zamboni is at the end, if you've been to the Predator games, that is where the stage is, and it comes out a little bit. So it's a very intimate and very powerful environment. And we have so many great friends, Uplight Technologies. We have Scott Scoville, MooTV. Everybody is contributing, all the things to make it spectacular. I have the same crew. This is our 30th show that we've done with live music. So we have the same production staff, the same crew, all back from my Stars on Ice days. And then all these skaters that, Nathan Chen, who's in medical school, he says, I'll come. So we have the reigning Olympic men's champion in figure skating will be there. Katya Gordieva, who's won 2 Olympic gold medals. Mariah Bell, who won her national championship here when they were, the Nationals were here in 2022. It's just extraordinary. Just Gracie Gold, Elaj Balde, Keegan Messing, so many of these, Max Naumoff, who lost his parents in that horrific plane helicopter incident last January. He's coming in. and he's beloved, amazing. Paulina Edmonds, another Olympic skater. So we have so many phenomenal champions coming in, and no one, nowhere can this show exist. And no one could pull it off besides, I think, me. I know it sounds bold to say that.
No,
but it's only one night. The only way to see the show is to be in the arena. It's not televised. And so we're really hoping that people will it's a Sunday before Thanksgiving, which can be a challenging date for people. But if you're in town and if you want to hear songs that you've heard so many times come to life in a unique way, and to see skating right in front of you, the explosive athletic nature of it, and then the artistic element of it combines, and it's with the music. It's
going to be incredible.
No, it's beyond incredible. And I built a life on never over-promising and under-delivering. Never. So what I'm telling you is it is unique and spectacular, and nowhere else in the world does this show exist.
I believe it.
And it's the only time the show will ever be performed, ever. Because every year it's a different lineup, it's a different different skaters, different everything. So I really need Nashville to get behind this and fill the arena. It's Bridgestone is one of the most successful arenas in the country.
Yeah.
And we need to show them that this is something that's worth supporting. They give us the building. Just with everything we've done together over the years with the Fordyce Centers and everything else, and how we've served this community together. And they've been so kind as to gift us the building. And so we just need to honor that by filling it as high as we can possibly fill it, because there's not a bad seat in the house. And thanks to Scott Scoville and Moo TV screens, and we use the scoreboards and everything else, we create it very intimate. No matter where you're sitting in the building, you're going to feel like you're on the ice with these skaters.
It's going to be a huge party is basically what it's going to be, an incredible ice skating experience. That's Sunday, November 23rd, before Thanksgiving, Bridgestone Arena. You can still get your tickets to Scott Hamilton and friends.
Yes.
You're listening to the Nashville Game Changers podcast with Olympic gold medalist Scott Hamilton. We'll be right back after this. Scott, you just hit your 40th anniversary of that Olympic gold medal, 1984. It's
coming up on 42.
Coming up on 42.
It's like I'm still here, which is illogical with all my health junk from the past. But it's remarkable that, I always thought if I saw the year 2000, that, wow, that's a life well lived. And now we're a quarter century past that. And it's been remarkable just to have all these experiences and to see so much and to think that I'm about to be a part of the Olympic telecast for my 10th Olympics as a broadcaster. Different role. I'll be in the studio with Mike Tirico, kind of like Michael Phelps' role from the Summer Games on the swimming. Skating will be on, I think, 10 nights of the 16. So I'll be busy. And I'll probably be on every night promoting the next night, whatever. But it's extraordinary that I never thought I'd do one, and this will be my 10th.
I don't think it's a stretch to say that figure skating, the sport, and how closely we hold it to our hearts here in the U.S. I don't think it's a stretch to say that figure skating today wouldn't be what it is now if it wasn't for the part that you played.
Oh, you're kind.
So early on. Hear me out, Scott. That 1984 gold medal, that was the first time in over 2 decades, 24 years, that an American won a gold medal. But then on top of that, you rattled off 4 world championships. You not only gave it so much life and love and significance with that milestone, right? That gold medal. But you also shined a spotlight on the sport, and you showed how fun it could be.
Oh man.
How energetic.
Yeah.
You were at times humorous. Your personality shone every time you stepped foot on the ice. How would you even describe the impact that you've had on figure skating?
I've just been blessed. And skating, you have to understand, is it's a community that really resembles a tightly woven fabric. So when you go back in the history of the sport, the first man to win an Olympic gold medal in men's figure skating was Dick Button, 1948. He was the first Olympic gold medal from the United States in figure skating. He was the first one. The first woman was Tenley Albright in 1952. Dick won his second one in 1952. Then in 1956, 2 years before I was born, Hayes Allen Jenkins, took it right from Dick, Olympic gold medal, and then his younger brother in 1961, the Olympic gold medal in men's figure skating. So you had 4 men in a row from the United States, 4 Olympic gold medalists in a row, 3 men. And then you have women, 56, 60. And then in 1961, we had this unbelievable foundation of skating in this country that were headed to the World Championships. And the plane crashed in Antwerp, Belgium, and it killed all of our skaters, all of our main coaches and officials. And it was there that skating needed to be rebuilt. And so some coaches came in from Europe to kind of fill those roles. No country was more exciting or impactful in skating than the United States at that time. And the whole thing just got destroyed. And so Peggy Fleming, in 1968, wins the Olympic gold medal 7 years later, which was miraculous. And then Dorothy Hamill wins right after that. We're all close friends. I went to do a speech in Akron, Ohio, and Hayes Jenkins and Carol Heiss Jenkins, 60 Olympic gold medalists in women's figure skating, they're married. They presented me in my talk. Anytime there was a tornado in Nashville, Dick Button would call me to see if I was okay. This is skating. And I was the most unlikely person to ever be in a position of winning any championships. I grew up in Bowling Green, Ohio. They built a rink in 1967 to have classes and to have a hockey team. And they'd open the rink up on Saturdays to teach children how to skate. And a year after they opened this building, I started skating. And I took to it really fast because I was very sick as a child, and the skating allowed me to have exercise, and it ushered me into better health. And so my parents were like, we couldn't get anything from the healthcare community. Let's just keep him on the ice and keep him skating to make him well. And from there, I lost a lot. I failed a lot. I learned a lot. And then I lost my mom to cancer, and it ignited in me a passion to honor her and all the sacrifices she made for me and to just be accountable to her. And from then on, it was just a spike, and made it to the 80 Olympics. She always thought I was going to the Olympics, but I was like, based on what? I'm not very good.
She believed you were always
going.
She
believed in me 100% and sacrificed everything. She would never buy clothes for herself. Everything went to her children. And I was a big part of their resources. My parents were both school teachers. So all of a sudden I go to the 80 Olympics, and I get elected to carry the flag in the opening ceremonies, which is like, why? I have no chance of medal here. If I come in 8th, I'll be lucky. I came in 5th. And then post-Olympic, the top 3 guys retired. And I'm ranked 2nd in the world. Just all I had to do was wake up. And I had to figure out, what do I need to do to be number 1? And that was to take a hard look at where my strengths and weaknesses were. And I had to pour into my weakness, which is the compulsory figures. And so I figured, I tell my kids this all the time, the greatest strength is a lack of weakness. So find out where you're weak and get strong. And from October of 1980 until March of 1984, that would be my 4th world championship, I never lost a competition. And I was never that guy growing up. I was always last place guy, early on. And so I won the Olympics, and I went undefeated for 4 years, which is, I still can't believe that. It doesn't seem right. And then there was really no proven path for a male figure skater to step into the professional world. Peggy Fleming, posts all the, if you've heard the name, but you may not be able to put much to it because it was in the 1930s. Sonia Henney invented professional figure skating. She toured the world as one of the greatest champions, and she changed the sport with her electric performances and was the number 2 box office draw in Hollywood. I mean, this is a big deal. And then post-crash, Peggy Fleming created this superstardom in skating, which was elevated again by Dorothy Hamill, superstar in skating. So when I turned pro, there was no path, and so I had to invent it. Mm-hmm. So I worked really hard. I had 3 heroes that I was going to base my professional skating life on, and none of them were skaters.
Who were those 3 heroes?
Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, well,
because he was blue collar, worked hard, showed up every night, threw it down. I wanted to be that guy. Neil Diamond. If you've ever seen a Neil Diamond concert, the joy from the stage, the pure joy of everything, and just how he handled his musical career is like, and you can't wait to go back. That was what I loved about him. So I wanted to do that. And then my 3rd hero was Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin. When Led Zeppelin broke up, he went solo, and he wasn't afraid to take chances. And he was so honest in his approach to, like, I want to grow and I want to learn and I want to take chances and I want to do that too. So those are my 3 heroes. Mm-hmm. And I kind of stepped into this professional world of saying, I'm going to have to be really good. I'm going to have to throw it down every night. I'm going to have to be contagious in my joy, and I'm going to have to be willing to grow and take chances.
And that's what you did.
For 20 years. I thought if I skated 2 to 4 years, I was fooling a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But I ended up touring for 20 years. And I went through cancer during that journey. I went through a lot in those 20 years. And then my son was born in 2003, and I'm skating a show in Madison Square Garden, my dream place. It's like if I could ever be on that ice. And we sold it out year after year after year, which was amazing. And I'm skating in Madison Square Garden to a Michael Feinstein song, and he's standing on a box on the ice singing it and the song was called Only One Life. And I'm skating to this song, and Michael's singing for me, and it's like, this is beyond anything I ever would have thought to dream. What am I doing here? I've got a son at home. I've been on the road for 20 years. I want to see his first steps and hear his first words. I think I'm done. And so after the next night, I was in Long Island. I performed, and that was the end of my tour that year. I went home and I trained like I was competing in the Olympics again. Every day I skated really hard, and I was driving from a training session where I didn't miss a jump. Backflips were floating. Everything was perfect. And I said, okay, that's enough. So I quit on my own terms, and I got to see his first steps, and I got to hear his first words, and I've been a huge part of my kid's life, since both of them were born, and in that comes relationship. And so still serve the skating community. I went into broadcasting immediately, and that saw me through to now going into my 10th Olympics as a broadcaster, and it's been an extraordinary journey just all the way through. But I just had to ask a lot, and I had to work toward it, be humble and hungry. And I'm shocked at the career that I've been able to build, and the skaters that I've befriended. Nathan Chen's coming to the show at Bridgestone, the reigning Olympic men's champion. It's extraordinary that skating is a small community, and we all know each other probably better than we should, better than what's appropriate. And, it's all these skaters come because they trust me, and they know I'm going to produce them well, and they know they're going to have a great experience. And they know ultimately that I've given a great big chunk of my life to the cancer community. And we're making incredible headway in creating these new treatment pathways and modalities where people don't have to suffer anymore and they don't have to die. And we're working hard on a lot of the more difficult, we call them bullies. But once you punch a bully in the nose, they're going to think twice about coming back, right? So,
sure.
Yeah, so we ask everybody to get behind what we're doing, and the skating community has, and I've been able to build a career 500 light years beyond anything I ever thought possible. But it just took showing up every day and asking a lot and being honest in the approach. You know, I'm a volunteer at CARES. I've always been a volunteer.
You don't take a paycheck. I know you don't.
I never will.
You never have.
And I never will. It's a penny that goes into my pocket isn't going to change my life very much, but it'll take away from our mission. So I'll never do it. And that, I think that becomes contagious where more people are willing to step up and volunteer. All of our musicians, you know, coming in, you know, Kevin Cronin of REO Speedwagon fame, you know, all the people I've mentioned, Jason Derlatka, John Elefante, Wally Palmer, you know, Jason Sheff, and
I can just see you smiling as
they're all my
so
heroes.
excited.
I mean, I love music, and I've always
your hero list has gotten bigger and bigger.
These are my jams, you know.
Yes.
And Mike Reno. I mean, I skated to Loverboy in my 1982 World Shirt Program. You know, Turn Me Loose, and Turn Me Loose is in the show. So it's all these memories and all these relationships, and having Max Naumoff here. Again, he lost both of his parents to that plane crash in January in Washington, D.C. that took so many lives of all those skaters and their parents and coaches. And both of his parents were coaches, and they're both gone. And just building a relationship with him and having him here means so much. And, you know, Katya Gordieva, man, she still skates, and she's still gorgeous. And it's going to be a wonderful night, celebration of life, celebration of hope, and of a better day for people facing a cancer diagnosis.
Thanks so much for listening to the Nashville Game Changers podcast. That was just part 1 of our interview with Scott Hamilton. So be sure to tune in next week for part 2 as we dive in deeper to his journey and his battle with cancer and also his impact here in Nashville.